Good morning, students. Today we shall discuss about the mechanism of immune response. Introduction. The immune response is the series of biological processes by which the body recognizes, responds, and eliminates foreign substance called antigen. The mechanism is an essential function of the immune system that protects the body from infections caused by microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. When an antigen enters the body, it is first detected by immune cells such as macrophages and dendritic cells, which act as an antigen presenting cells. These cells process the antigen and present it to lymphocytes, particularly T cells and B cells, which comes from the lymphoid organs. This recognition triggers a coordinated immune response involving the activation, proliferation, and differentiation of these immune cells. Activated B lymphocytes produce specific antibodies that bind to the antigen and help neutralize or destroy the antigen. At the same time, T lymphocytes assist in regulating the immune response and directly destroy infected cells. After the elimination of the antigen, some lymphocytes become memory cells, which provide long-term immunity and enable the body to respond more rapidly if the same antigen enters the body the second time. Thus, the mechanism of immune response is a highly organized and coordinated process that ensures effective defense against pathogens while maintaining the body's internal balance. In simple terms, when we say what do you mean by immune response? The immune response is the body's protective reaction against foreign substances, ensuring survival by detecting, attacking, and remembering lawful invaders. Immune response. A primary immune response occurs when the body's immune response encounters an antigen for the first time. During this immune response, the body learns to recognize the antigen, produce antibodies against the antigen, and induce a long-term memory response against the antigen. The production of immune memory lymphocytes enables memory induction. The response induced involved in the activation of naive B cells and naive T cells. The response lasts about 14 days to resolve. The immune response is the process by which the body recognizes, attacks, and eliminates foreign substances called antigen. It mainly involves B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, macrophages, and antibodies. Antibodies are nothing else than the immunoglobulin. The stages of immune response. Entry of an antigen. Foreign particles such as bacteria, viruses, toxins, or parasites enters the body. For example, the virus enters through the respiratory tract, bacteria entering through wounds, crosses physical barriers like skin or mucosa. The diagram which shows antigen enters through the body. The second step, recognition of the antigen. Special immune cells called antigen-presenting cells, such as macrophages and dendritic cells, captures the antigen. They break the antigen into small fragments and present it on their surface using MHC molecules. Antigen enters the macrophages enters them and they present it onto the MHC molecules. Third steps, activation of helper T cells. The antigen presenting cells activate helper T cells. Helper T cells release cytokines that stimulates other immune cells. So they process the antigen and they displaced the T cells on if it is T cells, it present on MHC molecule 2, that is the CD4. And the MHC molecule 1, they activate cytotoxic C cells, that is CD8. We can understand from the diagram. Steps 4. Activation of the helper T cells. Helper T cells recognize the antigen, that is the antigen MHC complex, and they become activated and they release cytokines. Steps 4. Activation of the B cells, which is involved in the humoral immune response. That means they produce the antibodies. The helper T cell stimulates B lymphocytes. The B cell recognize the antigen and become activated. B cells bind to antigen directly via receptors with the help of helper T cells. Then it undergoes the corneal expansion, differentiation into plasma cells and memory cells. Step 5. Corneal expansion. The activated B cells divide rapidly to form many identical cells. These cells differentiated into two types of cells. They are plasma cells and memory cells. The memory cells store in the body and they become active when the same time of antigen entering into the body for the second time, and they recognize and eliminate the antigen. Step 6. Antibody production. The plasma cells produce antibodies specific to particular antigens. The antibodies bind to the antigen and neutralizes. The functions of the antibodies, that is, they neutralize the toxins or even the viruses. Toxins are like bacteria, parasites, etc. Or through the other process of opsonization, that is like it enhances the phagocytosis. Also, it also helps for the activation of the complement system. Step 7. Destruction of the antigens. Several mechanisms are involved in the destruction of antigens, that is neutralization, opsonization, complement activation, phagocytosis. Activated by antigen on MHC molecules. And they kill the infected or the abnormal cells, that is the pathogens, and when it is activated, they produce the perforin and they create spores and kills the DNA of the antigens, or even apostasis, that is the granzymes. Steps 8. Formation of memory cells. Some B cells become memory cells which store in the body, and when the second time the antigen enter into the body, they recognize and immediately the antibodies are produced. And they have a long-term immunity. The pathogens removed by antibodies, phagocytosis, and cytotoxic T cells. The specialty memory cells is the rapid response during the second entry or the same type of antigen or when the same type of infections that gets to the body system. A simplified flowchart of the diagram. That means the first step, antigen enter the body, then it is recognized by antigen presenting cells. When the antigen presents and recognized, it is engulfed by the macrophages or dendritic cells, and they degrade the antigens and they present to the helper T cell, helps for the helper T cells activation, which is followed by B cell activation, then colon expansion, then it becomes the plasma cells or the antibody production, then antigen destruction followed by the different mechanisms of the like opsonization, phagocytosis, or lysis, etc. Then the formation of memory cells in the body. The flow chart which shows both the mechanism of immune response, both in the humoral immune response as well as in the cell-mediated immune response. In the antigen ender, APC antigen presenting cell processing, then antigen presenting cells to the MHC molecules, That is why that will be activated with the Th cells, nothing else, that is the T helper cells activation, followed by C cells, B C cells and T C cells activation, antibody production. If it is T cells means cell killing, antigen elimination, and formation of memory cells in the body. What are the functions of the humoral immune response? The functions of the humoral response are pathogen elimination, antibody production, neutralization of pathogens, opsonization, activation of complement system, immune complex formation, and the memory response. The memory cells are stored in the body. Conclusion. The immune response to an antigen is a well-coordinated and specific defense mechanism that involves antigen recognition, activation of lymphocytes, and effective elimination of pathogens. Antigen-presenting cells initiate the process by displaying antigen fragments, which activate the helper T cells, the key regulators of the immune system. These cells, in turn, stimulate B cells to produce antibodies for humoral immune response and cytotoxic T cells to destroy infected T cells. That is the cell-mediated immune response. This dual response ensures that both the extracellular and intracellular pathogens are effectively removed. An important outcome of this process is the formation of memory cells, which provide long-lasting immunity by enabling a quicker and stronger response upon subsequent exposure to the same antigen. Thus, the immune response not only protects the body immediately but also contributes to the long-term immunological protection. The immune response to an antigen is a highly coordinated and specific defense mechanism involving antigen recognition, lymphocyte activation, effector response, and memory formation, ensuring both immediate protection and long-term immunity. Thank you, students.